Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Syria on the boil as rebels capture Damascus. President Bashar al-Assad flees to unknown location. United States announces a new $988 million security assistance package for Ukraine. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in Bahrain to participate in Manama dialogue. And in sports, Indian teenage challenger Gukesh to face China's Ding Liren in Game 11 of World Chess Championship 2024. Score levelled at 5-5 after 10 rounds. In a big and breaking development, Syrian rebels have said that they have freed Damascus and ended President Bashar al-Assad's 24-year rule. In a televised statement, one member from Syria rebels said that the city of Damascus has been liberated and that Bashar al-Assad has been toppled and all detained persons from prisons have been released. A total of 9 individuals appeared on Syrian state television, one of whom delivered what he said was statement number 1 from the Fatah Damascus operations room. Earlier in the day, as per reports, Assad fled Damascus as rebel forces captured the capital. He left Damascus on a plane. His whereabouts are not known yet. Syrian Prime Minister Mohammed al-Jalali, who is still in the city, has said that he is ready to cooperate with any leadership chosen by the people and for any handover process after rebels take control of the administration. The rebels have said that public institutions will remain under al-Jalali for now. The rebel forces entered Damascus on Sunday shortly after capturing the strategic city of Homs, severing the capital from the coastal region that is the stronghold of Assad's Alawite sect and where his Russian allies have a naval base and air base. Nations in West Asia remain on alert over the situation in Syria. The Israeli military has deployed forces in the UN-monitored buffer zone with the country. Lebanon said it was closing all its borders crossing with Syria except for one that links Beirut with Damascus. Jordan also shut borders crossing with Syria. Meanwhile, the UAE has said the developments in Syria reflected political failure and the destructive nature of conflict. US President-elect Donald Trump has said that the country should not get involved in Syria. He added that Syria is not Washington's friend. In a social media post, Trump called Syria a mess. He also said that Russia, which has backed President Bashar al-Assad, was incapable of stopping rebels' march to Damascus as it was tied up in Ukraine. The White House, meanwhile, said the US President Joe Biden is keeping a close eye on extraordinary events transpiring in Syria. According to a statement, President Biden and his team are closely monitoring the extraordinary events in Syria and staying in constant touch with regional partners. National Security Council spokesman Sean Savit said in a statement on social media. Bashar al-Assad, Syrian president, was known for ruling the country with iron hands. He was part of Arab socialist Ba'ath ideology. Now he has left the country swept by rebel forces. Here's a report by Arshi on the rise and fall of Syrian leader.
This is the end of road for Syria's president Bashar al-Assad. He has left Damascus, from where he ruled the nation since 2000. He stepped into power following the death of his father, Hafez al-Assad, who ruled there for 3 decades. Born on September 11, 1965 in Damascus, Assad pursued medicine, specializing in ophthalmology in London, before entering politics after the untimely death of his elder brother, who was groomed for politics. Assad maintained his father's hardline stance in Syria's decade long conflict with Israel, continuing to demand the return of the Golan Heights and giving support to Hamas and Hezbollah. Relations with the United States worsened after Assad denounced the US led invasion of Iraq in 2003. Assad's presidency has been defined by the ongoing civil war, which erupted in 2011 amid calls for democratic reforms. His government has faced widespread allegations of human rights abuses and war crimes, drawing international condemnation. As Syria's civil war continued, Assad's grip on power, once uncertain, strengthened. The rise of ISIS in 2013 shifted global focus, with countries like the US prioritizing ISIS defeat over Assad's removal. Russia's military intervention in 2015, though airstrikes and ground support, helped Assad reclaim most major cities by 2017, confining rebels to Idlib by mid 2018. Amidst waning conflict, Assad initiated reconstruction efforts, including infrastructure projects and controversial policies like Law 10, which allowed the government to seize property left unclaimed by dispatched Syrians, benefiting loyalists that sparked large scale criticism against him. Despite global sanctions, Assad retained power with robust support from allies like Russia and Iran, crucial in shaping the course of the conflict. Married to Asma al Assad, Bashar led a nation struggling with economic hardships, displacement, and recovery efforts, remaining a central figure in West Asia geopolitics. Bureau Report, DD India.
And DD India correspondent Amrit Pal Singh joins us live to give us more details. Hi, Amrit. A very good afternoon to you. Amrit, the Syrian rebels have captured Damascus, and as per the information that we have, President Bashar al-Assad has also fled the capital. What transpired in the past few days that has led to this situation in Syria, and why?
The rebel forces began from the north. They captured Aleppo 3 days back. Last week, they captured Aleppo. Then Hama fell, then Dara fell. Early this morning, probably close to the late hours of the night, Homs fell. Once Homs fell, Damascus was a given. So they came on the outskirts of Damascus, and then by the morning, Damascus fell. We know that there was hardly any resistance put up by Bashar al-Assad's forces as the rebels trickled into Damascus, though there was heavy fighting, intense fighting out on the outskirts of Homs. But Damascus was easy to give in because, these was demoralized forces of President Bashar. The Iranian proxies have been considerably weakened, with Hezbollah weakened, geopolitics turning, Russia not being around. So Bashar al-Assad's fate was sealed. Now that they have captured Damascus, they have said that al-Jalali, the prime minister of Bashar al-Assad, will continue until a plan for smooth transition to power takes place. And the rebels have also said that, they will not harm any civilian population. Probably they will go after loyalists of Bashar al-Assad, though they're not making public statements to that effect. But I'm sure they will, unless they also flee the country, or their fate seems sealed as well.
Definitely. Definitely. Amrit, now by looking at the situation in the region, what can we expect in future? What future holds?
Future is very, very uncertain. What has happened right now is there is a military victory. The forces, the Islamist-backed forces, led by basically Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, has overthrown or toppled the government of, or toppled the presidency of Bashar al-Assad. He, along with his family members, have fled the country. They have said that al-Jalali stays the prime minister for the while. Now, what kind of a government is formed? Will
in fact, Prime Minister has also said that he's ready to cooperate.
That's right. He has no choice. If he wants to stay alive, he has to cooperate with them. Otherwise, he'll be butchered on the streets of Damascus. And and the anger really was against Bashar al-Assad, who was seen as an Iranian proxy, not working to the benefit of the Syrians. So in the populace, there was a his dictatorship and his father's dictatorship. And so basically a 50-year-old regime has come to an end. Now, what kind of a government will they form? Will it be an Islamic government? Will it be a caliphate? Will it be a liberal government? Because these are elements who are very, very dangerous. Al-Jawalia himself has, used to head the Al-Nusra. So he has a Al-Qaeda background. He's trying to distance himself from that, but the fact remains that he has a Al-Qaeda past, which will not sit very well with either the Americans or even his Sunni backers, namely Saudi Arabia. What sort of a transition government, what sort of a government is formed remains to be seen. Now, the other problem is that these are very disparate groups of fighters. So there will be squabbles over power sharing. Will they be able to stay united? They could come under one umbrella and one flag of Hayat Tahrir al-Shams, but will they stay together? Because they are disparate and they have their own differences as well. Now the real power struggle will begin, and it could easily descend into chaos. But that's why the countries are worried, and therefore you saw 8 members get together at Doha, and the UN Special Envoy calling for a peaceful transition and an orderly political transition. So that is why it's very, very worrying for the world right now. Yes.
Definitely, Amrit. Real power struggle will begin. Situation is grim right now, and we'll have to wait and see what future holds. Amrit, since this is developing, we'll keep taking you on air, and we'll keep asking updates from you. But thank you so much for your analysis. That was wonderful analysis by you. The United States has announced a $988 million aid package to bolster Ukraine's efforts in its ongoing conflict with Russia. According to the Pentagon, the funds will be used to buy ammunition, drones and spare parts to maintain Ukraine's artillery equipment. Washington, D.C. has committed over $62 billion worth of security assistance to Kyiv since the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine conflict in February 2022.
We understand that Putin's assault on Ukraine is a warning. As I said in Kyiv in October, we are seeing a sneak preview of a world built by tyrants and thugs. A chaotic world, violent world, carved into spheres of influence. A world where bullies trample their smaller neighbors, and a world where aggressors force free people to live in fear. So we can continue to stand up to the Kremlin, or we can let Putin have his way and condemn our children and grandchildren to live in a world of chaos and conflict. This administration has made its choice, and so has a bipartisan coalition in Congress. The next administration must make its own choice. But from this library...
Thousands of pro-EU protesters rallied in Georgia's capital Tbilisi on Saturday night to protest against the government's announcement to halt EU accession talks until 2028. The move is an abrupt freezing of long-standing national goal of EU membership that is written into Georgia's constitution. The opposition accuses the current Georgian Dream Party government of becoming increasingly authoritarian and pro-Russian. South Korean prosecutors have opened a criminal case listing President Yoon Suk Yeol as a suspect in their investigation of his declaration of martial law last week. DD India's Abhishek Bose brings us more.
South Korean prosecutors have opened a criminal case into President Yoon Suk Yeol over martial law. Yoon has narrowly escaped impeachment. The impeachment motion was prompted by his short-lived attempt to impose martial law in the country. Yoon's People Power Party boycotted the impeachment vote put forward by the main opposition Democratic Party. The motion was scrapped after not enough lawmakers participated. However, the ruling People Power Party said Yoon will eventually have to step down and he will no longer be involved in state affairs, including foreign policy.
Until President steps down, the Prime Minister will work closely with the party to ensure that public welfare and the government administration are managed well according to plan. Even before the resignation, Yoon will not be involved in state affairs, including foreign policy.
Yoon has apologized for declaring martial law earlier this week and has said there will not be another such order. Meanwhile, former Defense Minister Kim Yong-hyun has been arrested over his alleged role in Yoon's declaration of martial law. Kim had resigned earlier this week. Yoon shocked the nation on the night of December 3 when he gave the military sweeping emergency powers to root out what he called anti-state forces and obstructionist political opponents. He rescinded the order 6 hours later after Parliament defied military and police cordons to vote unanimously against the decree. This whole ordeal has plunged South Korea, Asia's fourth largest economy, into its greatest political crisis in decades, threatening to damage the country's reputation as a democratic success story. Abhishek Bose for DD India.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is visiting Russia on Sunday. Notre Dame reopens. Stay with us to know more.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is visiting Russia on Sunday to attend 21st meeting of India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission on Military and Military Technical Cooperation. During the visit, Defence Ministers of India and Russia will review the entire range of multifaceted relations between the two countries in the field of defence, including military-to-military and industrial cooperation. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will also commission the Indian Navy's latest multi-role stealth-guided missile frigate INS Tushil at Yantra Shipyard, Kaliningrad, and pay tributes at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Moscow to honour the Soviet soldiers killed during the Second World War. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar arrived in Bahrain on Saturday, where he will be participating in the Manama dialogue. The theme of this year's Manama dialogue is Middle East leadership in shaping regional prosperity and security. The minister will also co-chair the 4th India-Bahrain High Joint Commission. The ministerial meeting will review the entire gamut of bilateral relations and discuss avenues to further strengthen India and Bahrain ties. EAM Jaishankar is in Manama on the second leg of his two-nation tour and was received by his Bahrain counterpart Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani. Ashtalakshmi Mahotsav at Bharat Mandapam continues to draw attention with its cultural and developmental showcases. A major highlight of the event is exhibition featuring pavilions of northeastern states.
Exhibition of 8 northeastern states have been witnessing a significant footfall, with visitors eager to explore and understand the vibrant culture of Northeast India. The pavilions represent the region's rich ethnicity and cultural diversity.
Ashtalakshmi Mahotsav is a signature program of the Ministry of Donor to showcase the power engine that northeastern states and the region is. Through this, in which we'll have technical sessions on various subjects, we'll have investor roundtable, we'll have buyer sellers meet, we have a demonstration and exhibition of different products of 8 states. We expect people to see and experience the vibrancy of Northeast, the potential that Northeast holds for the investors.
From intricately crafted bamboo utilities and vibrant bead jewelries to luxurious silk fabrics, every counter offers a glimpse into the unique heritage of northeastern states. The exhibition highlights the region's potential in sustainable crafts and textiles, attracting both admiration and curiosity.
The central government, the schemes they've provided, and through NEHHTC, we've been given a good opportunity where, the financial health of the rural area population has drastically increased, and now almost 90% of the rural population is standing in their own feet and they have become financially stable. So we are very grateful, and we are looking forward to more schemes where we can we can come forward and we can actively support our state people.
Adding to the vibrancy are young entrepreneurs and startups showcasing the best of Northeast India's culture and craftsmanship. Their innovative ideas and dedication reflect the region's growth potential in the national and global arena.
We put efforts to keep our legacy alive. This is a cap made fully from yak hair and their traditional boot. All of these traditional attire are self-made from scratch.
This display of rich ethnicity of Northeast states is more than just an exhibition. It is a celebration of the rich tapestry of the Northeast and a testament to the region's integral role in India's cultural and economic progress. Visitors leave inspired, carrying a deeper appreciation for the treasures of the Northeast. Bureau Report, DD India.
In sports, Indian teenage challenger Gukesh and China's Ding Liren will face each other once again in Game 11 of the World Chess Championship 2024 on Sunday. Earlier, Game 10 ended in a 7th consecutive draw on Saturday, leaving the score tied at 5 points each in the 14-match series. Each player has won one game apiece, with Ding taking the opening match and Gukesh coming back to defeat the champion in Game 3. The rest of the rounds have ended in a draw. If both remain tied after 14 rounds, the match will move to a tiebreaker, which will be played on December 13th. In cricket, skipper Pat Cummins' masterclass propelled Australia to a stunning 10-wicket win over India in the second test in Adelaide. Chasing only 19 runs on day 3, Australia did not face any hiccups as openers Usman Khawaja and Nathan McSweeney took the hosts across the line in just 3.2 overs. Cummins completed his 5-wicket haul as Australia bundled out India for 175 earlier in the day. For Australia, pacer Mitchell Starc took a total of 8 wickets, while skipper Pat Cummins took 7. Batter Travis Head was the star performer with his knock of 140. For India, only Nitish Reddy played decent knock of 42 in both the innings. With the win, Australia have levelled the 5-match Border Gavaskar series at 1-1. Notre Dame's famous bells tolled as cathedral reopened its doors on Saturday in a ceremony after extensive restoration and reconstruction work. The word mercy was projected onto the front of Paris's Notre Dame Cathedral in thanks for its salvation after a devastating fire that brought the 860-year-old building close to collapse after 5 years ago. In fact, 5 years ago. Aarti Rana has more in this report.
Ces voix multiples, ces harmonies capables de traduire tous les sentiments de la prière chrétienne, de la supplication à l'exultation pour l'œuvre de Dieu, l'œuvre de sa liberté et de sa volonté puissante et aimante. C'est particulier
On the evening of April 15, 2019, this UNESCO World Heritage Site was gutted in fire, which destroyed much of the roof and caused the spire of the 12th century Gothic masterpiece to collapse. It took almost 400 firefighters to bring the blaze, likely caused due to an electrical fault, under control after 15 hours. President Emmanuel Macron, in an emotional speech, vowed to restore the cathedral within 5 years. After 2,055 days and $800 million, the restoration is complete, even though the cathedral's exterior remains a work in progress. Thousands of experts, from carpenters and stonemasons to stained glass window artists, work round the clock using age-old methods to restore, repair, or replace everything that was destroyed or damaged. And now, recounting the events of 2019, Macron thanked first responders, donors, and supporters in France and around the world.
Ce soir, les cloches de Notre Dame sonnent à nouveau.
We chose the surge, the will, the course of hope. We decided to rebuild Notre Dame de Paris even more beautiful in 5 years. The surge, the will. And to make this possible, an unprecedented fraternity. Fraternity of those who have given all continents, of all religions, of all fortunes, united by hope and gathered within these walls.
The cathedral's first stone was laid in 1163, and construction continued for much of the next century, with major restoration and additions made in the 17th and 18th century. World leaders, including US President-elect Donald Trump, US First Lady Jill Biden, Britain's Prince William, and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Tesla CEO Elon Musk were among some 1,500 guests to celebrate the restoration of the landmark widely considered to be a pinnacle of French architectural heritage. Notre Dame has been meticulously restored, with a new spire and rib vaulting, its flying buttresses and carved stone gargoyles returned to their past glory, and white stone and gold decorations shining brightly once again. Aarti Rana's report for DD India.
India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched Waves, entering the field of OTT platform. Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to digital media and OTT audiences. If you also want great content for free, then download Waves today. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Prasar Bharati from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.